Welcome back to the Midnight Snack. Today we're going to be doing something special. It was recently my anniversary with my fiance. We're going on 4 years, and I wanted to make her something a little special. In our household, something special is making duck. So I'm going to show you guys how to make a beautifully roasted duck with mixed vegetables on the bottom of it. So let's get into it. So let's get started. First, you want to take your duck, you want to put a whole bunch of salt all over it. Rub it down thoroughly with a lot of salt, roughly about a cup to a cup and a half, and then we're going to put it in a at least 22 quart container. I am also taking out the gizzards and the neck. I'm going to save that for later. So next you want to fill up your container with at least, I did 30 cups of water, just to make sure that it fully gets soaked. Next, I'm taking some wine. I'm gonna fill that in there. A little bit of lime juice, some pepper, some basil, some garlic powder, and then last, a little bit of some freshness. Some cayenne pepper. I guess that's fresh. We're going to be going and taking some of our fresh herbs. I'm going to put some rosemary in there, just to give it a little bit of flavor. We do have a couple of pricks inside of the duck, so this way when it's brining for the next couple of days, it will absorb some of the flavors of the water inside of it. I'm going to stir it up just to make sure that there's nothing sitting completely on top, and we are going to be putting this into the fridge for at least 2 days for it to fully absorb up all that water. 2 days later, we have a duck that has been brining for quite some time. We're going to remove it from its layer and we're going to start drying it off with paper towels before we put it onto our roasting tray. After completely drying the duck, you want to take the flap where the neck is and you want to tuck it back in. We will be untucking it later on just to lacerate it a couple of times. We're going to take our duck. You want to put it horizontally onto your board. Spread it out evenly so we can make sure to get every single layer and every single inch lacerated and poked with a knife. The reason for poking your bird is to make sure when the fat is cooking, the fat doesn't get trapped inside of the bird and it goes all over to the pan instead and all over to your vegetables, ensuring that they cook with all the seasonings and the flavors that you would put into the duck. You also want to score out the neck flap to make sure that when that fat goes out, it goes out into the bird and spews out everywhere else. Do it on the opposite side as well, right before we cook, to make sure that all the fat will drip out of the duck. Now that is nice and cut up and scored, we're going to take some potatoes, smash them to bits. I take those potatoes, put them all along the baking sheet. You're also going to want to do the same thing for the Brussels sprouts. Show you a demonstration cut, show you how thick we're wanting them. We want these into quarter bits, not into half bits. If we do them into half bits, it'll take a little bit too long to cook. See, nice little quarter bit. Now just get very aggressive, do it with your hand. There you go. Nice bits. Put those on the baking sheet, just like the potatoes as well. Everywhere. Next, we're doing the same thing with bell peppers. Smash those to bits. Again, rinse and repeat. You know what it is. Smash those to bits. Right into the pan. Next, we're also going to put into the pan some garlic. And with a surprise twist, we're going to put some blueberries on top of it as well. The blueberry will help with a little bit of the sweetness. It does have a little bit of tanginess and bitter to it, so it'll help break down the richness of the fat, but also complement it in a way. I'm also going to put in 4 sprigs of fresh rosemary. Most of these ingredients are right out of a garden. And I'm going to throw 1 whole sprig of basil that I combined into 2. Guess 3. Next, do salt, pepper, some garlic powder, some ginger, and we're going to turn up the temperature to 425 degrees. We're going to be baking our duck for 15 minutes at first, and then dropping the temperature down. There's 2 ways of dropping the temperature down afterwards. You can drop it down to 350 degrees and cook it for 2 hours, but I prefer dropping it down to 250 degrees and roasting it for about 3 to 4 hours. I didn't have enough time to do that, so I had to do the 350. You want to include about a half a cup of white wine into your duck as well. It's going to seem like I'm pouring a ton in here. The bottle was almost empty, so we finished off the bottle doing this. There wasn't honestly a lot left. There was about 8 glass worth. Okay, Google, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Another trick that you can also do is you can use a thermometer, set it to 150 degrees. This is going to give your duck to be about a medium. You can have your duck at medium rare. We like ours a little bit at a medium well, unless if we're having whole duck breast, which we like at our medium rare. So whole duck, I'm going to cook it to 150. I'm going to take out the probe, take out the duck, and then we begin to do a glaze over it. Look at that nice crispy skin on that duck. Flip it around to the underside, We want to keep that crispy side crispy, but we want to get that bottom side a little bit more crispy as well. I'm taking some blueberry chipotle sauce that I got at the local butchery that I got the duck from, and we're going to glaze that over. If I can just try to get the cap off. Comes out real thick with whole blueberries, which is amazing. The stuff tastes phenomenal. After spreading out that glaze very evenly across the bird, we're going to be turning our broiler onto low, and then taking our duck, putting it back into the oven, and cooking that duck for about 15 minutes. This is going to get us to our preferred temperature, and we'll finish out the 2 hours as well. After it comes out, you see that all of our vegetables are a little bit crisp. They are a little al dente under the bird, which is completely fine. I was trying to get it around the sides of the bird, but to avoid that, add a little bit more butter and some liquid into the vegetables directly. I think I didn't do enough wine in this batch, but in the end, it was still an amazing bird. Now, with the carcass and the remains, I'm going to take all the giblets and stuff and I'm mixing it into my dog's food. Everything is okay for her to eat in here. You have to monitor them when they are eating the spine, just to make sure that they don't choke, but she absolutely loves this stuff. Now, with the bones, the carcass, and all the wings and stuff after you've eaten the duck, you want to keep that and throw that into a giant pot with a ton of water on top of it. We're going to be reducing this down with a whole bunch of spices, first being star anise. I put about 15 cloves of these into the pot. Next will be a whole stalk of ginger, about 4 tablespoons of garlic, 2 tablespoons of ground nutmeg. You also want to do 3 tablespoons of cinnamon as well, and a quarter of onion in there, and roast that for about 12 hours. That will give you some amazing duck broth. You can make pho out of it, you can make soup out of it, but that'll be another video. Thank you so very much for watching. I upload every Tuesday, or thank you for watching.